Hey everyone, it's Mitzi, and I am doing something very special today. I'm passionate about health and wellness, and there are so many different ways to create health and wellness that um, you might not think of. And it can show up in so many different forms. And I found a form through a friend of mine called Biofield Tuning. And I wanted to share this with you because you will probably find this really, really helpful if you learn more and more about it. And that's what we're hoping to do today. So I am thrilled to chat with Maggie Mistal. She's a well-known career coach and biofield tuning practitioner. Maggie helps people realign their physical, mental, and emotional energy using the subtle vibrations of sound, clearing energetic dissonance so that you can feel lighter, more centered, and fully present. With her unique blend of expertise in career coaching and energetic work, she supports both personal growth and professional performance, guiding her clients to harmonize their energy and show up as their best selves in every area of life. And she's also written this book, Are You Ready to Love Your Job? So, Maggie, I'm so happy to be chatting with you
Oh,
today.
Mitzi, you're the best. Thank you for that. That was lovely, and I appreciate it. I think everybody should have their bio read to them every day.
There you go. There
Right?
you go. I know it kind of makes you like, wow,
Hmm,
I've done
I've done
that.
something.
That's I know it's awesome. So let's start out. What is biofield tuning? What is this?
Yeah, it's so interesting because I was asking the same question myself. I was literally watching a TV show with this woman, Eileen McCusick, who's the founder of Biofield Tuning, um, was working with forks. Here, I've got one here, the puck right side up there. And she was saying how our bodies are like instruments and they can get out of tune. And when you use an activated fork, so an activated fork is when you hit off something like a hockey puck, and move it through the biofield, which literally we have a field around us, goes out 6 feet in all directions. When you move that activated fork through the biofield, you can find those pockets of static and clear them,
Wow.
right? And when you do that, that's stuck energy, right? Stuck emotions, which is energy in motion, right? That's emotion, right? So it's stuck
Yep.
emotions. When you use and you keep the fork there, it's so cool. And I'll talk more about how to do it and all that stuff. But literally, the fork in the field with this coherent sound tells the body, hey, I'm supposed to sound like that. Just like a tuning fork tells a piano what it's supposed to sound like. And it tunes that static right out. And that energy literally comes back to your channel where it's supposed to be in this battery that we call a body so you can get recharged. It sounds like woo woo, but it's actually science.
So it aligns you and centers you.
It does. And it really, what Eileen says, and I love this, and I say this all the time to my clients, it returns you to your original factory settings.
Oh, a reset.
A reset, exactly. To back to what you were meant to be, because our bodies do know, I believe, do know how to heal. I mean, we do. I mean, this is even science too. Our bodies know how to heal themselves. It's just that they've lost what that coherence feels like or sounds like, or there's so much dissonance around people, whether it's through food or the environment, or who knows what, electromagnetic energy, whatever it is. It could even just be emotions, like I said. This kind of static just interferes with that signal, and this helps the body, the forks, and this process helps the body remember what its natural sound is like and what it's supposed to sound like, so it can say, "Oh, that's who I am. That's what health sounds like," and it makes itself coherent.
Wow. It sounds complicated, but I think there's a simplicity to this.
Actually, it is. I mean, it sounds like I honestly I just thought it sounded crazy. Like, yeah, sure. I'm just gonna use a tuning fork and heal myself, right? But what funny is when you experience it, that's where the aha moments really started to show up for me. Because I just started, to be honest, after I saw that show, I said, let me get some forks and let me do the foundational training this person offers, right? Just because I wanted to learn how to use them for them myself. And I love sound. I love. I've done a talk radio show on Sirius XM for 7 years. I like to sing, as you and I can share. We like that aspect too. The voice is very healing. Just that whole idea. And the idea that sound could help us, I was like, huh. So I just started like literally doing what I had learned in this foundational training. And I started to see benefits for myself, for my family members. Like literally, I felt more like myself. That's what people say most often. It's almost like you shed a layer of something you didn't know you were wearing, right? Or carrying.
I find that like with health coaching, I'll have clients say that they didn't realize how badly they felt until they started to feel better.
Exactly. Yes. And you do this with health coaching for sure. These are all modalities getting people back to their own core, right? Back to who they
Exactly.
naturally are. Exactly.
Ex- So, but you're a career coach, and you help people find the right job for themselves that they're going to be passionate about. And so now you've brought in the tuning to this. So how does that work with your career coaching?
Well, it wasn't a surprise to me, but it actually happened very naturally. So, what I found with coaching, and this is from day one, and I was even trained in block techniques. So, basically, we have blocks, whether they're limiting beliefs or attitudes or an inner critic, right? We have blocks that keep us from our best careers. That's what I found in coaching. And I've been in coach for 22, 3 years. And so I have techniques to help people overcome blocks. It involves talking. The one that I use most is called voice dialogue. So we're voicing what's going on with this inner dialogue. What's interesting with the forks is we don't have to talk. That's what I started to find is that the forks can help clear those attitudes because it's emotion. Those triggers are emotions stuck in our field. And it wasn't, I can't take credit for this, Mitzi. I was speaking at what's called the Lodge at Woodlock in the Poconos of Pennsylvania. I was a featured speaker that weekend. And one of the participants in my class, I was speaking about career topics. She said, I see you do biofield tuning. Can we do a biofield tuning as well? It was in my bio and she just happened to read it and she knew about tuning. She'd been doing it. And she said, and can we combine the two, coaching and tuning? And I was like, I don't know. Let's see if we can. So I did what's called a seated chair session with her where I used the forks, for 25, 30 minutes and a coaching session is about an hour. And then we did talk through coaching afterwards for another half hour. And she said, thank goodness that we did that tuning before the coaching. She said, if we hadn't, the conversation would have been very different. I would have focused on all the things in my way. But because we did the tuning first, I could focus on what was possible for me and where I wanted to go. And it was like a light bulb went off. Yeah. And I'm like, wow. Because again, I'm not doing anything other than I am striking a fork and I know processes and I'm paying attention. But it's the person's own body that's really leading this process when it comes to the tuning. And it was so cool for them to be able to shed whatever they needed to be able to have the best kind of coaching conversation that they needed to, that person needed to in the moment. It was really fun.
That's awesome. So now you're doing this with your clients, and you can do this long distance, which is kind of so
It
I'm
is
going
kind
to
of
ask you to
strange.
kind of walk through what a session looks like. Now, I did one a few months ago, and I'll share my experience. I actually sent you a text afterwards, um, a day later to share what my experience was. But you're in Florida.
Hmm.
I'm in Massachusetts, and we did this. So, which kind of was like, how can you do this when you're like at such a distance? But you you did. And so walk through what a typical session would look like if you have somebody, well, and maybe it doesn't really matter if you have somebody there or at a distance. It's a little bit, but it was really quite remarkable, the experience.
It's an
So
it
in
that
a very positive way.
Yeah, and although I'm so glad to hear that you had that. I appreciate you so much for being willing because I think some people just think it's out there and they don't give it a try, but once they do, they start to get it. But literally, whether you're the person's with me physically or at a distance, what I have them do is sit or lie down, and it's fully clothed. It takes about the same amount of time as a massage, so 45 minutes to an hour. And what I do is I use the forks around the body first to open up energy points on the body points. Start at the feet, the knees, the hips, the heart, the lung points, the head. And we really let the body know, hey, we're coming, we're going to introduce some vibration here. And then I activate what's called the Earth Star and the Sun Star. And it's interesting. We don't think about it, but it's true. And it's science. We're actually a battery. And so, because of that, if you notice on a battery, there's a positive port and a negative port. And we have the same. And so our negative port is, I believe, it's the bottom one, the Earth star, but I know it's down there. The Earth star is below your feet, and the Sun star is above your head. And these are the ports of your battery, right? This is where the charge gets received or discharged, just like in a battery, right? If you want to recharge it or discharge it. And ultimately, what I do is I adjust those because most people, Mitzi, when they're stressed, they pull in, right? Just like a dog pulls in its tail, tucks its tail when it's scared. So I find the Earth and Sun stars are supposed to be 7 to 10 inches off the body for the maximum operation of your battery. All right. So if you want to get the most out of your body, your Earth and Sun star have to be, where they're supposed to be. But most people, they're tucked in. So we're not getting full charge. We're not getting full capacity. So I
We're kind
literally
of tight. We're
go
kind
ahead.
of tightly wound, aren't we?
Yeah, for various reasons, right? And it's okay. It just is. Like there's no judgment. That's what I love about tuning too. There's no, it's like, oh, this is interesting. Everything's interesting. But I literally use the fork activated, right? And I could feel it. You could, and anybody could feel the Earth star and Sun star. You can feel there's something there. It's usually tucked in between the ankles. And then continually activating the fork, I gently guide it out. And then it gets to a point where I can't move it anymore. And it's so interesting because it's literally you can't see it, but you can feel it.
Yeah.
And so I do that with the Earth star. I do it with the Sun star. I literally put the fork, an activated fork, right in their Earth and Sun star to just give it this coherent sound again, help stabilize it. And you can tell not everybody. The other thing I like about the forks, a lot of people have done sound bowls, which is great too. Um, I can actually feel differences in different people with the forks. The fork reacts differently, right?
Yeah.
So a person's Earth star might be more vibrating, so I need to leave the fork in for a bit longer, let it calm down, or it may be kind of dull and need to pump it up a little. So you said tend to notice the forks will act differently in interaction with different bodies and different fields. After that, then I use a pendulum and I go through those same body points from the feet up to the head. And the body, I say, what is the best angle of approach for this person? And the body tells us where to work. Whether there is, it's either a circle, if it's like, I'm good, keep going, or the pendulum will make a line or a stop. And it's amazing. The body says, work here. And then I have what's called a Biofield Tuning map, where, again, Eileen McCusick, who created this, found that we tend to put the same emotions in the same places in our field, everybody. So she mapped it out. So depending on where we're working, if we're working at the heart, for example, right? There's a left side and a right side, and I check that with the pendulum, see if I get a circle or a line, and then I'll look at the biofield anatomy map, and I'll say, oh, this relates to depression, grief, whatever, right? Or a different emotion, and depending on where we're working, and then I'll say, does that resonate? And the person always says, yeah, right? Because the body knows where to work. And when I do an adjustment, it's called, what I start is I start 6 feet off the body on that part, wherever that was indicated, and I gently walk towards the body, activating the fork. And I can feel, again, those pockets of static because the fork can't go.
And you were able to do that in
From a
Florida
distance. Yeah. So
when
what I
I
do
was
when
in
I'm distance,
Massachusetts.
yeah, I set up the hologram of the person's body. You can use anything, but I use particular stones that just mark those different areas. I'll mark the feet, the knees, the hips, all the chakras all the way up. But yeah, you basically have the person's hologram be there and it operates the same. And this is it. This is very interesting work. I mean, Reiki works the same at a distance. And I've been doing them enough. Most of my tunings are remote just because of where I live. There isn't somebody down the block. And I can feel it. You felt it too, right?
I did. So, do you want me to share what I felt?
Yes. So tell us what
Yeah.
happened after
So,
your experience.
yeah. So, I mean, it was really an interesting thing. I was laying down on my bed, and actually, Enzi, my dog, was by my feet. So she was able to. I know you weren't doing the tuning on her, but I think she was able to just. She was just there. She didn't move the whole time, and the tuning was about an hour to an hour and a half. And so I sent you a text afterwards because you sent me a text to see how I was doing. And I wrote you back. Enzi and I are doing well. After the tuning, I felt a lightness, which is difficult to explain. I couldn't explain, but I felt this lightness. And I also felt as if brain fog had lifted. I was clearer and sharper. And it was like, what, it was just amazing. Like walking around, I was like, okay, like I was clearer, I was sharper, and there was a lightness to the way I walked.
Oh
I
my
could
gosh.
feel that. And so it
And all
was
you needed to
just,
do was relax for that hour. That's what I love. I was talking to a friend and she was talking about all these healing things that she's doing and there's wonderful modalities out there, don't get me wrong. But what's great about tuning is all you do is relax. And the more you relax, the more it works.
I
Like,
know,
thank
and you
goodness.
and you just asked questions about things, and we could feel, and I don't really remember the area that but there was a stuckness someplace when
Hmm.
you were going around the table and doing, there was there was a place where I was a little bit stuck, and then you were able to unstick it, and I can't explain that, but it happened, it worked, and I could feel the vibrations even as I was laying there
Hmm.
with you many miles away. It was
Yes.
just like, this is kind of like, this is amazing. And it was a great experience.
Yeah, and you can learn even timeline with what Eileen found, and I see it too, and that's where the training comes in. But we're literally, our biofields are also a timeline of our lives, right? So it goes out 6 feet. At the edge is birth. So wherever you're working on the body, you start at birth and then you work towards the middle of the body, towards this midline, and that's present day. So you can actually
That's
tell the person where, like what age they were when that static occurred.
that's right, because you were asking me at different ages, different things you were asking me. I remember it was like, okay. And then so having to think back what was going on when I was, let's say, 13 or 14 or 23 or 32, or I'm going to stop there. Um,
You're so young. You should. But that's what's fascinating because will say, "Oh, I'm fine. Everything's great." They don't, like you said, they don't know that they're carrying this. I worked on someone in Florida actually, and she had been through Hurricane Andrew, and we hit a stuck point that took a while. Sometimes they take time to clear. It can take 10 minutes, or 5 minutes to clear, which seems like a long time actually. And then it hit her. She said, "Hurricane Andrew." And that was devastating to the people that were here at the time. And we don't realize that those moments, and not everybody has to go through a trauma. Even getting mad when you were 5, can stick in there.
yep.
But it tends
Yeah.
to clear kind of quickly. But if you've had something bigger happen, your body has siphoned off that energy into your field. It's nothing bad about it. It's just that it needs to come back. It needs to be back in the body, coherently being used, channeling throughout, so that you can feel that lightness, right? That's your natural state, Mitzi. Yeah, that's your
It's kind
natural
of
state.
releasing it. You're releasing it.
Yes,
You're in a
yes.
really
Releasing the
positive
weight.
way. Yeah, it's not
Yes,
forgetting, but it's releasing. So
right.
um that's so great.
Releasing the emotional charge on it. That's what it is. Because, and we all know what our triggers are, and that's what they are. They're literally things in our field that are electrically charged. So when somebody interacts with it and triggers us, bam, there we are, right back in it, right? So
Yeah.
patterns are also very clearly evident in the field. There's literally, they call them ancestral rivers that run down each side. The left side is the mother's lineage, the feminine side, and the right side is the masculine or the father's side. And there are times when the fork will kind of get grabbed at that, it's about 8 to 10 inches off the body. The fork will get grabbed in that ancestral river and just want to be there for a while. And then when it's done, kicks it out. And people will tell me, oh, yeah, I had a great conversation with my mom after we had that session. Meanwhile, we worked in the ancestral river on that side. The
Wow.
body just knew.
So you've gone through certification for this because and and then you
Advanced
just did
level
some
recently.
advanced,
Yeah, up
yeah,
to level
advanced.
3 now. It's so fascinating. And we were doing halo activations. There's an energy. Like what you learn is what we first start where you kind of start working on the big field of the body, and then you learn there are mini fields within the field. So that's what we were working on this past advanced training. And you start to, there's a halo, like there's literally our pineal, which is a real gland, is supposed to be connected, and it's not for a lot of people. And so, yeah, so actually for the last 21 days, I'll tell you, Mitzi, or not 20, it hasn't been quite 21 yet since my class, only about 14. Um, I've been getting halo activations remotely from my fellow practitioners. Something we do every day. And I can tell you, everybody's reporting in like, wow, I feel like I'm so focused. I can tell you, I'm better with time. If you're bad with time, you need a fork to go like this, right above your head.
Oh wow.
right
So
up.
that
Because your time, this is where you connect with time. And I can tell you after the halos, I'm like, I am spot on. I know what time it is. I know when to show up. I mean, it's fascinating. So we don't have to be, what's the word? Victims to feeling bad, to your point, right? We don't just have to stay stuck. Even if we don't know what's wrong, that's what I like with tuning. Your body knows, and your body will do it in a way that's very gentle. Your body will not hurt itself. And the forks are designed to work with the body so that the body can do what it's here to do. It's just beautiful.
So if someone wanted to get started, like, well, before I ask you if somebody wanted to get started, do you have like one example? I mean, you talked about the person who you did the career coaching with. Do you have like another career coaching example or another example of a client and related to the career coaching that kind of was like, whew.
Yes, actually. So you can tune a career as a project, believe it or not. Yes, you can tune a project. And this was something I started. I've always thought it, and I've tuned people themselves and saying, okay, you want to be more in charge in your life, and we've focused on that. Like you can have an intention, and that's great too. But you can literally take a glass of water or a container of water, and have it represent whatever project it is, even if it's a home renovation, right? But on the career side, a lot of people want to change careers or find a new career, or even just fix the one they have or fix a relationship. But you can literally tune that vessel with the person, like either on Zoom or in person, and you approach it from all four sides, one at a time. And you can't believe the amount of information that comes out. Emotions come out. It's fat, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but just people just, it all comes through. What's holding them back from success in that project, whatever success is defined by. And so for me, I tuned my business and I tuned someone else's business. And we both had the most amazing aha moments. We're like, whoa. So for example, the person I was tuning with her business, she was identifying too much with it. As you can imagine, people identify. And it was, she was afraid that it would somehow change her reputation in the community. She wasn't sure. She wanted to put herself out there as a biofield tuner because it sounds kind of weird. People can be afraid of new things.
Hmm.
But then when she realized that the business is its own thing, it's not her, she was like, of course I can move forward with it. It's not me. It's a thing. It's a business. It's its own. It's got its own. It's not me that I'm putting out there. It's the business. And she felt free to actually take steps that she had been holding back on. And that came out of tuning this glass of water that afterwards, you drink the water, you could take your time, you don't just chug it. But literally just tuning that water representing her, and her representing her business really brought through huge insights. So it was really powerful. And I just want people to know that, let's see, they don't have to be afraid because the body will not hurt itself. And this is
Wow.
about their own bodies leading the way towards health and well-being.
That's so it's fascinating. It really is fascinating if I
Makes you
hadn't done
think,
it
right?
myself. Yeah, I mean it's like it is. So if someone wanted to get started with biofield tuning, what should they do? How could they sign up? Where could they find you? Where could they find out more?
Sure. So I've enveloped this into my coaching practice already, because there are many tools I use. So maggiemistal.com is the website they could go to. If they go to services, biofield tuning will be listed there. And you can actually read about it and see that map I was talking about that talks about the areas of the body and what they mean. You can also read more testimonials, and you can also sign up for a session, and they can be remote or in person. And they honestly, I have most of my family is not near me, so I've been working on them remotely for now several years, and they can't wait. They're like, when else can I get another one?
That
So
is
people can really benefit no matter where they're located.
so I will put that information in when this gets posted for
Great.
people to be able to find you. And it has been so fun knowing you for so many years because I've known you for so many years. You had me on your Sirius XM
Hmm.
radio station um, long ago, and then we've just been able to stay in touch and through the years
And
and
that's a credit
see
to you,
your
Mitzi. You're very good at keeping in touch with people and maintaining solid relationships. So thank you. Thank you for
well,
that, being a
so
connector.
well, I love being connector with people I want to be connected with. Um,
Right? Well, that's nice.
but it's been great because I've seen your career shift and change and doing new things. You've seen the same thing with my career.
Hmm.
And so it's been fun kind of growing up with you.
Yeah, growing together. And I think that's one
Yes.
more quick point is on, and I want to strike the fork so everybody can really hear it for, before we go. But people are going, like, we are going through a lot of change. And for a lot of people, that can feel like chaos. And so this is actually the perfect time to think about something like this that can bring you back to center. Because if you try to change everything outside of you, it can get overwhelming. But if you just focus on you and your center, trust me, things around you will start to correct themselves. It's really pretty beautiful. At least that's been my experience. So with that, I want to leave it. This is the 222 fork. Every fork, there's lots, I have actually a lot of forks now. The 222 is the harmony fork, the sound of harmony. And so here we go. I'm just going to give you some harmony. And if you take a deep breath in with me as we do this. Very good. Mitzi, let me do that one more time. No, it's interesting. It's a little muted. I think we have some work
It
to do
was,
on harmony.
yeah, no, I know. It was a different, it
It
sounded
was
different.
different. Isn't that
I know.
interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whoever is going to be watching this is the other thing I've learned. Even if they're not watching us live right now and they're watching the recording, yeah. Oh, there we go. It lightened up. Do you hear that? That's amazing. So take a deep breath on that one. We cleared something with regards to harmony, which is really nice. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate this.
Thank you. And harmony was my word for one of my words for 2026. So it's perfect. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording and thank you.